Alright, to remove our gauge cluster, there's gonna, on my Honda, it may be different on your car. I have two screws up here. I have a number 2 Phillips to get these screws out. It's going to be a total of 5 screws, and they're all different, or 3 different types of screws, so remember where you got them from. And this guy won't come out, so he's probably going to fall out if I don't take it out. Ah, come on, monkey. So the tricky part with mine is you have to disengage the 2 latches on the bottom first and then pull the top out. So this black plastic cowling, where it meets the clear plastic, you kind of push it in, your fingers in a bit, and it can be tough. I kind of already got it started, but you're going to want to pull it back, as you can see. So let me push it in a bit for you. Right, so with it in, you pull backwards on this side, and then once you got that, without using a flathead, because you could rip your vinyl, stick your fingers under there, and then rotate it forward. Careful not to break anything. So with that out, you have 3 more screws to go. One at the top, which I use my stubby number 2 Phillips again. And then on the bottom, I have 2 in the corners. Now, it's as simple as rotating this forward, and you can pull it towards you a bit to expose your 2 plugs. You have a green and a blue one. It's a matter of pushing in this tab here. Pull that plug out. Same with this one. And you can now remove your gauges. There you go. And the car will still work without the gauges in. Okay, next step. Here we have the instrument cluster. In the back, you can see there's you can remove the lights, and you'll see that I used LED lights. I've been meaning to make a video on that. I bought these off eBay. These are what the bulbs used to look like. I've been having camera problems, that's why it's been taking me a while to make a video. So I'll get to that LED video later. So first step, I'm going to take off this plastic. Just little tabs right here. And on the bottom, put that aside. Next, oh, those don't come out. So I guess I didn't need to take the plastic out. Just need to take this black part out. It comes out the same way. Pushing the tabs down, and it pops out. And I am being careful not to break anything. Here's an interesting fact. I don't know if anyone knows, in case anyone doesn't know this. Without this in the car still runs. I never tested it, but I imagine the odometer reading comes off the computer. So I imagine if I were to drive 5 kilometers, I would it would show that I did drive it, even though I didn't have an odometer, unlike the old-fashioned ones. All right. So next step, I'm going to remove these gauges here, and I just pull out. And one thing you want to do is they do have a stop right here. Just remember where the gauge was set at, so that when you return the needles, and I'll show that in a later video, you'll just want to put it at the same point. And same with these ones. Now, if you don't have a Honda 2003 or similar, I can't guarantee how it's done. So now to scan this image, you have these needles that are in the way. And the way to get these needles out is I'm going to expose the back here. Actually, it's going to be kind of tricky. And you have to take this whole circuit board out. So it uses, sorry, I didn't have my tools handy. And here's the funny part, the odometer right here has a bit of sticker around it, so it seems like after removing all those bolts, something's holding it in. If you listen, it's just unsticking this window part from here. You see back here, it's a little sticky there. So if you could see this, the back of the needle has a little thing here. I'm going to have these cutters. It'd be best to have needle nose, but you'll just squeeze them together. And then it pops out. So I'll do the same to the other gauge. And that time I didn't squeeze it together, I just pushed it through. So now I'm left with a gauge with nothing sticking out. These are these do protrude a little bit, and yeah, you could still scan the image pretty well with it protruding a bit. But when you put the overlay over top, you're going to want to cut a hole for this to go through and for this to go through. And to show you, here's an example of my old overlay. It's of Megatron, and you'll see when you print it on transparency, anything that's white is actually see-through. So as you can see, it looks like that. So to get this to work on your car, you're going to need silver or white gauges. If you have a black gauge, this project won't work. And what I did was, here there's a blank area where there's no image so that the odometer can show through, and I cut a hole here for it to go over top this thing. And what I did was I just taped it to the odometer that way. So that's what I'm going to do for the new ones I'm making.